Your attention, please. Ding, ding, ding. Your attention, please. Ding, ding. You know what that's from. If you're a Disney fanatic. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Araceli, aka Chelly. Today is a day where I'm gonna talk about how I got banned from Disneyland. Yes, I got banned from Disneyland, aka you're not allowed to go in there with your pass because you didn't follow the rules. I actually did a poll on my Instagram asking our community to see if you guys would like to know how this happened to me, because in all honesty, you guys, it actually happened to me 3 times. I didn't say this because it was really embarrassing, but these stories are life lessons, and I think it's important for my younger audience and also for the older audience to know that this actually does happen and it's not worth doing, because these are honestly like honest mistakes that I think a 20-year-old would do because they're either being selfish or they don't know any better, or they think they can get away with stuff. It's just things that teens and just 20-year-olds usually do when we think we know everything and we think we can do nothing wrong or no wrong, which I was completely obviously incorrect. And I'm glad that I got caught in all these incidents, because if it wasn't, then I would have never learned my lesson and I would have never been able to change my behavior. Because yeah, you know, I mean, this is just speaking for me, because I know that some people might go through these type of situations and they keep on doing the same patterns. But I really hope that you guys do not, I repeat, do not do what I do. And if you guys do, because stuff does happen, or maybe these 3 incidents occurred to you and you're trying to figure out how the heck can I get my pass back? Is it possible for me to get my pass? How the heck can I get my pass back? And what are the guidelines and rules in order for them to actually give you your pass back? And the little nitty-gritty stuff that you guys usually don't read when you sign a contract when you get your annual pass holder. So that's what AP stands for, if you guys don't know what an AP pass holder is. So all these incidents that did occur happened when I was an AP holder. Now let's get started, okay? The first incident was when I was on my early 20s. I think I was around the age of 22 or 23, and we were trying to pregame. So we decided to pregame in the parking lot like a lot of teens and 20-year-olds do, to either underage drink or trying to save some money. And that's what we were doing in the parking lot. We were actually parked right underneath the camera, which is really such a really dummy move. But don't let that like make you think you won't get caught, because believe me, since that incident, I have seen multiple people getting caught by Mickey police or Mickey security, them doing something in the car. I don't know if maybe they were smoking or drinking, I don't know, but I assumed because it was the same type of process. So anyway, so the first incident, I was actually in the parking lot. We were pre-gaming, we were drinking alcohol, and sure enough, security pulled up and started asking for our passes. And at that time, my partner was smart enough to think, well, I don't have it with me. I think it was that time where he didn't hand them their pass, but I had my pass and I handed it over to them. And as soon as I handed over the pass to them, they basically took away my pass, and I had to go through the whole process. They told me that I had to contact the annual pass holder customer service, and then they were going to refer me to the department that handles these type of situations where it gets escalated. So what I ended up doing is I wrote a letter to Mickey. They actually give you a specific address for you to appeal your, I don't know how to say it, but basically, you know, because I remember when I used to work at the Art Center of College Design, kids used to appeal tickets, like saying, no, this is not right. I don't think it was right that they took away or they gave me a ticket. So Disneyland has the same concept where you can reappeal, write your statement letter and explain why you feel like you deserve your pass back. But I will say it was kind of weird, because when they explained to me that situation, it was kind of like they pretty much directed me, they pretty much coached me how to write the letter. And they basically said, you need to write what you did, you need to apologize and explain how you're going to not let this happen again. And sure enough, yeah, I wrote this letter, and so I sent my letter in, and luckily they actually approved the situation and they gave us back our pass. probably 2 months after that incident happened. So we kind of lost the income because, mind you guys, if you guys get banned by any reason, you guys are not allowed to get your pass back. You still have to make your payments no matter what. Even though you're not allowed to use your pass, you're still mandated to make your payments. So if you do not make your payments, you will not be able to purchase any AP pass holders in the future. So it kind of puts like a dent on you. So don't do that. If you do get caught, you just have to live with the consequences and pay off your debt and move on. Okay, so that was the first incident that happened, and it was really horrible. I never did that again.
Never.
Okay, so don't do it. It's not worth it, you guys. It's not worth it. Be smart. Do not do it in any other parking lots. Don't do it. Don't. Okay. Second incident that happened. This one was really, really ridiculous. Well, ridiculous in a sense that I felt really dumb that I even didn't think twice to no, what are we doing, but anyways, just to kind of paint the picture for you guys, I am Hispanic and I am used to seeing my younger cousins drinking at the age of 18 because we do travel in Mexico and it's part of our culture. Once we go to Mexico, we're allowed, it's the age for you to be allowed to drink is 18 over there. So when I was with my sister the second time around, I was with my sister. It was a rainy day. Okay, there was not a lot, there was no crowds really, and I ended up purchasing a beer, okay, an alcoholic drink. I ended up purchasing a beer. I bought two, because a lot of us we tend to do two, so we don't have to go back, X, Y, and Z. So I had two, and I had asked her to hold my alcohol beverage so that I can fix something up. And while I was doing that, she started taking a sip, which I obviously didn't mind because, like I said, my bias over that is completely different because I'm used to seeing her drink, so I think it's okay. But obviously we're not in the same country, so that was really dumb of me to think that. But it was quick and easy, right? So she took it, and then afterwards I asked her, hey, can you give it back to me? She's like, no, and I was like, it's okay, like a dummy. So I'm not even playing with you, not even 3 or 4 minutes after that, security came up to us and asked for our IDs. We were sitting right in front of, I remember this perfectly, we were sitting right in front of Tower Terror before I turned to Guardians of the Galaxy, where we're sitting, it was wide open, and she was just sipping her drink while I was sipping my drink. And security came up to us and asked us for our ID, and obviously I was trying to coach my sister and be like, don't do it, don't. But she was really young and she followed the rules, which what you should do, She ended up giving her ID, and they brought us into security, and they wanted to call our parents, and I don't know what I did. I don't remember, because I remember I was super upset with my sister, like, why did you give my mom a parents number so that she doesn't worry, because that's a whole other story. Basically, my mom ended up finding out, obviously, but they basically took my sister's and my pass away. My partner was there too, since he wasn't involved in the situation. He wasn't touched at all with his past situation, so technically they took my sister's and mine away. Now we did the whole letter situation again. We were like, okay, let's try to reappeal our pass like we did it the first time around. And yeah, we went through this whole same process. We wrote the letter. We wrote a letter for my sister, and I wrote a letter for me. And unfortunately, they did not give me back my pass, but they did give my sister's pass back. Now, because of that situation, I was forced to obviously pay for the rest of what I've owed, and I was not allowed to purchase a pass until my year was done on the day that incident happened. So I technically had to wait until that incident, the day of. I waited, and I think I waited another year or two to get my pass back. Now the third situation. The third situation is probably the most embarrassing, and I'm not gonna go into full detail because I am really very, very embarrassed. I mean, the only thing that I'm not grateful about, but I could say that it happened on my 20s and on my 30s, because I would still be embarrassed to say, oh my god, I did this type of behavior when I was 30. But hey, to each their own. I gotta remember that I'm learning, and I learned from that situation. But okay, jibber jabber, I'm gonna stop talking, okay? So to sum it up, I basically drank way too much, and I was very belligerent. I was not following directions. My ego was like this, and they constantly were redirecting me and telling me certain things, and I just was livid. I basically let all my conspiracy conspiracy theories that I've had about Disneyland, and I just lashed out towards Mickey security. And I think what made it worse for me was because I know that one specific staff was not being respectful, and I know that that triggered me more, but that is not an excuse, because granted, I took a picture of this young man's badge because I remember thinking I used to be a security officer, so I hold people to certain standards. I think when you go through certain jobs and situations, you feel like, hey, I know how things roll, you know, to some extent, and what you're doing is not right. You're taking advantage of your power, like a lot of us do in certain type of job situation. Even on YouTube, a lot of us take advantage of our power as to how many people view our videos. So the same concept with a security officer. So yes, I took a picture of him because he was being really rude, and I know that he triggered my aggression more, but it's not an excuse. I shouldn't have never drank to that point where I was unable to control my anger. It was just really horrible. I wasn't following directions, and because of that, they obviously took away my pass, and they asked for the pass back, and I gave it to them. My partner didn't want to give the pass back to them, thinking that they weren't going to catch him, I guess, because my partner did get riled up too because he saw how I was crying and I was being really dramatic. So it was just a really bad mix, and eventually they basically said that because of my behavior and because they knew that I've been drinking, that's the third incident that involved with alcohol. They weren't going to allow me to reappeal the situation because that's my third incident that has to do with alcohol. So I completely understood. I know that I was really nervous because when I did talk to security when I was leaving and all that stuff, and I was asking questions even though I was acting really belligerent, they kept telling me like, you need to just follow directions, we need you to exit the park, you need to call them, and I was really nervous to call them, but I did, and I went through the process, and that's when they told me that unfortunately I was not able to get my pass back, and also for my partner because he was basically guilty by association. And then of course I did try to ask, well, like, you know, I did try to fight it because I try to play devil's advocate in the sense like, okay, I understand what they mean, like I get it, like my behavior was unacceptable and I deserve to be given a consequence because I wasn't following directions, and I don't want them to reward my behavior and think, oh, I can get away with it, like I act like this and it's okay. No, so I get that, but I did try to kind of fight in a sense. It's like, how do you guys know how much I was drinking? How can you guys prove that? Tell me, let me read your report. I want to read what you guys wrote about me. Because there's always two sides of the story. Because I did kind of think to myself like, okay, what if someone really wasn't belligerent and it was just they were making a scene, but it really is part of their character, like it's just their carácter? Like what if they just have a short fuse but they don't drink? So are they gonna correlate to like, well, because you drank? But I think because of my past issues, they kind of like, no lady, you just need to stop drinking. But I was kind of trying to like figure out like, I want to know what you guys wrote and all that stuff, and they didn't let me, you guys. They didn't let me. They said I had to subpoena my report. And you know what? I wanted to talk to a lawyer about that, like, and ask, like, are they pulling my leg? Because they were like, no, we can't show you. I was like, okay. And that's when I was like, I'm just gonna drop it. I'm just gonna let it go, B. Just let it go. Let it go. And I did. I let it go, but I did think it was a bit fishy that they didn't want to give me a copy of the report at all. Like, what they wrote and all that stuff. So maybe it was for the best, because what if they would have wrote something really harsh but it was the truth, you know, and things that maybe I should see and read. But I will say this, you guys, from here and now, if they think that you are too overly intoxicated and you're basically a nuisance to their park and community and to their guests, you will be at risk of getting your annual pass holder taken away, whether you're old enough to drink. Okay, number 2, they will take away your pass if you are underage drinking, or you are drinking in certain areas where they're not licensed to serve alcohol beverages. Number 3, if they think or have an idea that you are trying to steal an item, even though it was an accident or something, or X, Y, and Z, or maybe you were trying to steal, you will get caught. You will get caught. They're watching you and they're pretty much kind of collecting a record. And I know this because I used to work for Target, and with Target's like security, that's what they do. They collect a certain amount that you steal, so they're able to prosecute you and give you a charge of a felony, you guys. So just because you steal certain things here and there in Disneyland, don't do it. It's not worth it, you guys. Number 4, please bring your pass, because people figured Mickey is on top of things, you guys. Whenever people are trying to find loopholes so they don't get caught, because I know that this is not the only thing that people think about this when they get caught in doing something wrong. Because this is an advice someone had told me in the past when the first incident happened. They were telling me, well, why did you show them the pass? Don't show them your pass, say you don't have it. And yeah, we did do that a couple of times, and Mickey started realizing that. Now, if you do not have your pass with you at all costs, you will get your pass taken away, basically. It doesn't matter if you have a record, it doesn't matter if you did this, it is part of the rules and guidelines. If you do not have your pass with you, you will get banned. So they're on top of this stuff all the time. Whenever they figure out guests are always trying to find loopholes, they figure it out. I don't know if any of you guys are aware of this, but I know that when I was a kid, there was a way where you were in the elevator and then they stamped you, and that's how you were able to get into Disneyland for cheap. Okay, Disneyland got caught up on that. They were like, oh no, we figured that out. Boom. I remember one time my family or somebody that I knew let me use their annual pass holder and pretended to be that person. They were to figure that out already. They're on top of that. The picture has to match. You need to show pictures that you've been in Disneyland. They are on top of that. That's gone. Nobody can do that. Like, nobody can do that. I remember that people try to take advantage of handicap resources and shortcuts to get into line. People who had diabetes would use that as a disability, so they will go into the shorter line of the disability line. Disneyland caught up to that and they took that away. You can't do that no more. Now with the pass, Disneyland won't let you do that anymore. Even if you don't have a record, like I said, or not, always bring your pass with you. Now, because I have 3 incidents that happened to me, which honestly I feel like it's just a shit, is that the worst luck? So if I forget my pass at any time when I go visit the park, I will be banned for life. And I don't mean like I'm not allowed to step in the park. Like, I'm allowed to purchase tickets, but as for being an annual pass holder, I'm no longer allowed to be an annual pass holder for the rest of my life, unless I change my identity. I don't know. So I have to be very careful because I technically have a record, which is kind of embarrassing. So hopefully this video is useful for you guys and informative. One thing that I learned from this process is notes. Whenever you do talk to a cast member, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, make sure they write whatever you decide or they agree upon on your account. There has to be notes, because when I try to get my pass back, I did talk about this on my story about how they're like, oh yeah, you could come back. When I ended up going back to the actual park to purchase my pass, they were like, no, you're not allowed to get it. You have to wait till Sunday. I'm like, but I spoke to someone over the phone and they confirmed I would have never came over here if I wasn't allowed to come and get my pass. And she basically told me, well, they never wrote notes. And I was like, I just escalated the situation. That's another tip you guys need to do. Escalate the situation. Ask for a manager. If the manager can't do anything about it, ask for the executive director. Ask for the manager's manager. Escalate it. And that's what I ended up doing. Luckily, they were able to give me that pass back 2 days prior to what I was supposed to get it. But that wasn't my fault. Like, because I kept saying, you guys have phone records and you guys record records. Like, I know that because I used to work for the IC company. I'm telling you, I worked so many places that I know certain things. So I'm like, I know you guys record, so it's somewhere there where he told me that. There's proof. So can you guys please, I will never come. So I was pretty persistent about it, but I was being calm because I also didn't want them to get this feeling like, oh, okay, look at her again, she's not being cooperative. Because if you're not cooperative with them too, they will take away your pass. I will tell you this, they have every right to take away your pass for whatever reason they want. If they feel that you are ruining somebody else's Disney experience, they will not let you get your pass back. They can make any reason. You know, you could be, no, you were a disturbance, you were being violent, you were aggressive, X, Y, and Z. They will do it. It says on the contract. And like I said, in the contract, it specifically says, even if you are no longer able to use your pass, you still have to pay your stuff. So remember that, you guys. Remember, you gotta pay your stuff. You're gonna be stuck paying it. And if you don't, then you're not gonna be able to get your pass back ever again. So just keep that in mind. What's another thing before I let you guys go? I'm gonna tell you a side story. And you would think that I would learn from the situation. When I went to school to get my associates in criminal justice, I had this teacher. that I still remember saying, Mr. Willis, okay? Mr. Willis told this story about how like, oh, can I tell you guys a story about Disneyland? He said, I know somebody that works for Disneyland, and oh my goodness, they took me behind. You do not mess with Mickey police. They are watching you. You cannot get away with anything there. And I remember that till this day because I was such a Disney fanatic. This was prior to even me getting caught with all those horrible incidents, okay? So you would think that I would have that in the back of my mind, but of course when I got caught, all those other times I kept thinking about Mr. Willis. I'm like, Mr. Willis warned me. Mr. Willis warned me. You cannot get away with things with Mickey police. You think you can. If you keep pushing it, you will get caught. They're on you. They watch you. They watch you. Their reputation means a lot to them. Granted, hey, you guys, I've even seen, there was one time where I saw a girl run. I mean, she ran. A security chased her. I was like, oh my God. She got caught doing something. Either she got caught stealing, drinking. I don't know, but that girl ran. And I was thinking to myself, like, why didn't I think of that? Why didn't I run? But I'm sure they figured something out with that too. Because they have police outside of, they got police everywhere. So don't push it. Don't push it. And yes, it was a really traumatic experience for me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I was really traumatized over it. I was really sad. I felt really bad for my son because I didn't get access to going into the park. And so luckily my sister had the pass. So he didn't lose out on a lot, but still it was really sad for him. And it was sad. You know, I fucked up as a mother. I did. I feel like I did. I fucked up as a mother. But like I said, lessons learned. Life lessons, you guys. You gotta learn your life lessons, okay? I never did the whole drinking in my car ever again since then. I've never given my sister a drink. Not even when that happened at Disneyland, I didn't even do it outside of that. Like I was like, no. Like if we were at a party, like at a friend's party, or I don't know, just certain situations where, you know, your sister's like, come on, give me a drink. I'm like, no. And it was funny because even for her too, like she was just kind of like, no, yeah, our luck is pretty shitty. Let's just be good. And we left it at that. But I really hope this video was entertaining for you guys. I hope you guys learned a lot. Maybe I'll say the third story one day as to how it went down because it was really stupid and embarrassing. Or maybe I'll never say the story. It'll be my own personal life story journey. But if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you guys like this video, please do not forget to poke it. If you guys are new to my channel too, don't forget to turn on the notification bell and comment down below. Have you guys experienced something like this? Have you had a family member that has gotten banned from Disneyland or kicked out from getting their annual pass holder? I'm assuming that this happens to people too if they have tickets. I don't know how that rolls, but yeah, let me know. What do you guys think? I mean, I'm very curious to think what you guys think about my situation, and if maybe you've gone through the same stuff, or you know somebody, or maybe this video is gonna be helpful for you guys if you guys went through something like that and you really want to get your pass back. And I hope that I helped you guys in some ways, because a lot of people don't know that you can reappeal. You can reappeal it. That's the main thing. And notes that someone told you to did you write that in my note? Put it in my note. Screenshot it, send it to me. No evidence. Gotta get the receipts. Megan needs the receipts. No, I gotta go now. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.